Hello and welcome. Good to see you. My name's Milo, and today I have a very special guest joining me.
Hi.
Hi.
Sir Cathy Wise.
Yes, that is your Twitter handle. But yes, this is my spouse, Cathy. We are married. Hello.
Hello. 9.5 years.
We've done one before. Lego Star Wars Force Awakens.
Oh, okay.
That was a right pain because we were like streaming to the computer and then capturing the window, and it was really not great. But this is a bit easier. We're just running an emulator on the computer. And it was your choice, so why don't you introduce the game?
This is Harry Potter and
which one?
the Philosopher's Stone.
Got it, first one.
On Game Boy Advance.
And
Is this some kind of hack that's put this over it?
No, this was like a triple pack that they released after the first 3 games were finished. They went and did like a collection of them. I found a box art for it, but it's pretty bare bones. But yeah, you got to hand it to EA, all these languages that they supported.
Yeah. Only one of them is wrong, so...
Yeah, clearly there's one correct one. I wonder if the title changes if you pick US. Well, we're playing the correct version of the game. And by the way, look at the copyright notices at the front.
2001.
Yeah, but right there, Griptonite, which is owned by Amaze Entertainment. There is some misinformation out there about who actually developed this version of the game, but yeah, it's Griptonite. Options. What options do we have? Ooh, can we invert flying controls? Whoa, what's this? Okay. So I guess I'm going to have to fly later. Let's do this one. I'm advanced. I feel advanced today. New game. Okay, so this is 2001. They rushed the games out to coincide with the release of the movies. Do you want to do Dumbledore's voice, or should I?
You can do the voices.
There was nothing about the starry sky that night to suggest that strange and mysterious things would soon be happening.
Wow, that's a cool illustration of Hagrid.
Yeah, I do actually like the drawings in this game.
They're obviously not
art.
Based on the actors.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing.
Which is cool.
They didn't have the actors' likenesses for whatever reason.
Yeah, sometimes the one based on the actors can be a little creepy.
As unsuspecting muggles slept, a huge motorbike with a giant astride it tumbled down from the darkness. Now, he's only a half giant, right?
Yes. His mother's a giant. His father was a normal wizard.
Okay. Are giants wizards?
Giants are magical, but they're not wizards.
So his mother couldn't do spells?
Well, no, because they're not allowed wands to start with.
Racism.
Yeah.
The giant, named Hagrid, left a blanket-wrapped bundle on the doorstep of number 4 Privet Drive. Nestled in the bundle was a baby, Harry Potter, the boy who lived. Oh my, look at that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, they do kind of look based on the movie.
Yeah, they're like caricature, stylized versions of the characters.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name of any of the actors.
Oh, the actors. Oh,
yeah, because she also played Lena in Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Oh. He was going to be Doctor Who at one point.
Ah.
Yeah.
British actors,
etc. I don't know anything about Dudley. For the next 11 years, Harry lived with his dreadful step-parents, the Dursleys.
Step-parents?
Step-parents. Godparents?
No, they're his aunt and uncle.
And godparents. Or is that more? Nah, yeah,
his godparents
right.
Is Sirius Black.
That's true.
So,
anyway.
Yeah.
Until... Oh, that's a very cute Harry.
Aw, baby Howie.
That fateful day when he received the letter inviting him to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Whoa, this is skipping through things.
Yep, it's going fast. Hagrid, in some of the game versions, you play through initial stages getting to this point, but...
in the Lego games, you start with, like, Dudley's birthday, and this is like, Dudley?
It's a tutorial,
Who's Dudley?
The Lego games are clearly the pinnacle of the licensed Harry Potter games, but... Hagrid took Harry to Diagon Alley to purchase a most unusual list of school supplies. Never mind what they are. Soon after, Harry caught the Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4. Errant apostrophe unnecessary. And left the Muggle world far behind. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Jumping straight to sorting.
Yep.
It's a good maneuver. Very skinny. Harry sat beneath the sorting hat, hoping that he would not be chosen for Slytherin House over Gryffindor. Without establishing why he wanted that. Not Slytherin, eh? Said the hat in his ear. You could be great. It's all here in your head, and Slytherin will help you on your way to greatness. No? Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor. There we go. What's Ron's voice?
I don't know.
Hello, you must be Harry Potter. I'm Ron Weasley. I'm glad we're both in Gryffindor. Looks like we'll be joined by that know-it-all Hermione too. Anyway, we need to go to Defense Against the Dark Arts on the 3rd floor. I'll see you there. Oh, and watch out for Peeves the Poltergeist. I've heard he's causing trouble again. Now there you go. There's your first indication that this is not drawing exclusively from the movies, because Peeves was completely absent from all the movies. But in some of these early game adaptations, you do get elements from the books coming in, like Peeves. Do you want to explore this lobby a little bit? I gotta read the chat. Tanya's here. Hello, Tanya. Good to see you. Hagrid. His ride has been down for 6 weeks. Yuck. Get it? Because Universal Studios is closed. The joke is Hagrid's Universal Studios ride has really bad uptime, and the pandemic has closed the park for weeks.
Ooh.
It's a good ride though. If it's the same one.
There's only 2 houses?
The only 2 important ones. The other 2 are probably on the side of the staircase. Yeah, the only 2 that get any attention in the books, right?
Oh no, they're all over here.
Yeah.
It's just that there's
They're in
only
a different
2.
order too. Press square. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's X and square, is it?
Yeah, I'd set it up like.
Like confusing.
Well, how is the original Game Boy? What angle was that?
I don't know.
We were just watching a video on it.
I was watching a video on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, it's the same layout, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're arranged like that.
That
yeah.
layout, but these are the 2 primary buttons.
It's much more comfortable if you need to press 2 of them. You can lay your thumb across both. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah, Hagrid's ride. So that would be the flying hippogriff, right?
Oh, that one.
The whole wickerwork roller coaster thing. That was pretty cool.
Flight of the Hippogriff is pretty cool.
Which version is this? Oh, yes, I didn't establish that up front. This is the Game Boy Advance version by Griptonite Games. Now, Griptonite also made the Game Boy Color version. So, you know, you might be confused about the provenance of the different games.
Yeah, and the Game Boy Color version and this are quite different.
Yes, they are very different. They were actually, I checked the credits, they're made by almost exactly the same team, the same people involved in both. But on Game Boy Color, it's like a turn-based RPG more, and this one is a bit more action puzzle focused. All right, here's Tom Felton. Do you want to do Tom Felton?
Well, if it isn't the famous Harry Potter, you want to watch the company you keep. Gryffindors for mudbloods and riffraff.
Oh, come on. Oi, I'll certainly be more careful about the friends I keep than your friends seem to be. That's Harry Potter. Why did Harry Potter have bad godparents? Because Petunia Dursley is his mother's sister. So it was like by default that he got adopted by them.
Well, not really by default. So it's something Dumbledore does very deliberately. Almost anyone in the wizarding world would have been happy to take care of Harry Potter. And technically, his next of kin is his godparents. Now, so the people who were supposed to look after him
I don't know enough about
Sirius
British law.
Black,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, but he was a convicted felon.
But at this, well, he's not convicted at this point, but he's on the run.
Right.
So the Dursleys are kind of the default choice. Like, they're his nearest relatives that are capable of looking after him. Now, do they actually look after him? I mean...
Well, that's the thing that I never get about it. Dumbledore doesn't leave them any instructions, and he doesn't check in on Harry or how they're treating him at all.
He does leave them instructions, so that's what the letter is for.
Oh, but they ignore him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And I guess, I mean, Dumbledore doesn't have kids. He doesn't really know anything about parenting.
That's for sure. He doesn't know about a lot of
He's
things.
a high school teacher,
Yeah.
not like a primary school teacher even. So he doesn't really have that much experience with kids. I'm not sure that there's much checkup he could do. Now, I don't understand why there's not someone else in the Wizarding world to check up on them. But
Can't run any faster than this. That's
no,
frustrating.
it's so slow.
So Gibbon's here too. He's explaining some stuff to Tonya, who has never read or watched the books or movies. So this is
Wow,
going to be
this
an
is-
education for you, Tonya.
Yeah.
But Gibbon says that he likes the sprite work, and Tonya says that the Hagrid ride the Hagrid ride that Tonya is talking about is a motorbike ride. It's newer and Orlando only. One person rides on a bike and the other in a sidecar. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Oh, Gibbon's pointing out that the crazy cat lady kept an eye on them.
That's true, she does.
The squib
Yes.
was like an agent of Dumbledore.
Yeah. Yeah. Mrs. Fib? Ooh. No, I've got that wrong.
Oh.
Can't get in there. You've got 5 lightning bolts. I wonder what they do.
Well, they're not in an action sequence. Do you know what a flubberworm fritter is?
Well, flobberworms are a thing, but you don't make them into fritters. That's like an earthworm fritter.
Yeah, plenty of protein in that.
Yeah, but they don't actually eat it.
Who are these? House founders?
I don't know. Can you look at them?
Nope.
Nope. Flobberworms are the first creature. Well, not the first creature they learn to take care of. They're the creature they learn to take care of in Care of Magical Creatures after Hagrid gets in trouble for showing them hippogriffs.
Oh, yeah, okay. Ooh, nickel thirsty! What fun!
Oh, there's Peeves.
So what interests me is that I was looking up screenshots of other versions of the game, and his character design, Peeves's, looks pretty similar to what it was in the PC version. So there is some overlap, some crossover. I should note that the PC version was developed by No Wonder, KNOWWONDER, and they actually were the parent company for Griptonite at the time. So there's some information online that says that No Wonder developed this game, but that's just because they owned the studio that developed this game, apparently, I think.
Well, that's where we need to go, but it's
Well,
locked.
that's Charms. We need to go to
Oh.
3rd floor.
Oh.
So this is all filler right now. Getting to know the layout of the school, perhaps. Defense Against Dark Arts is this way, Harry.
Book.
Coolio. Don't need it. We have save states.
Oh, those saves.
Yep.
Cool.
Ah, it's Quirrell.
Oh, wow. Pre-rendered background.
Who's
or
this?
illustrated background.
Slytherin girl. Looks like.
Well, yeah, a girl anyway. Pumpkin pasties. Now that is a thing they actually eat.
Absolutely. They say good things happen if you eat 3 of them.
That's Weasley.
I heard gnomes give shivers. You mean Malfoy?
Yes. Why can't you work behind that?
I don't know, perspective. Good day, class, and welcome to Defense Against the Dark Arts. I'm Professor Quirrell, and today we are going to learn the Flipendo Knockback Jinx. This is particularly useful when cornered by gnomes or when getting past pufferpods. To learn the spell, repeat my wand movements.
This is not a spell from the book, and Quirrell doesn't really teach them anything.
Flipendo is really a charm, isn't it?
I guess it would be, yeah.
Oh, is this a dancing minigame? Awesome. Oh, that's how you do Flipendo. Now we learn Flipendo too. What's that? What? What? Oh, I messed up.
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3,
3.
4, 5. Okay. 25 points for doing the first class right with 1 mistake.
You should have got like 1 point for that.
Yeah, the point economy is a bit off here. I think Quirrell should have been briefed better by the head. I was too slow or something.
One, two, three.
Oops. It buffered my input and then... Ah!
Nope. Failure.
I failed, but I still learned Flipendo. I just didn't get 3 stars. Because this is Angry Birds, apparently. Watch out for names. Use Flipendo. Okay, cool. To cover some chat real quick. Harry Potter. Are the games a good introduction to the series?
No. An
Hey!
awful introduction.
Naughty cat. Don't knock over my ditto. Get out. Get out. But if you've only seen the movies, they might be a good stepping point to the books, as they sometimes include more things than the movies do. Maybe?
I think if you don't like reading, you're better off listening to the audiobooks than playing the games out of context. So I think this would be very confusing.
It's important to note that there are different... As with the title of the first installment,
Oh yeah.
the US has a different narrator for the audiobooks.
Books.
So go with the UK ones, read by Stephen Fry, clearly.
Yeah. But some people really like the American ones. I don't know, that seems weird.
People can like what they like, I guess. Stop it! So you cast Flipendo on a switch to turn it.
Oh, can you cast it on a barrel to move it?
I tried. I was standing too close to it.
How do you
also,
cast Flipendo outside of the game, outside of the thing? Do you just press A?
You press B, but only inside this area, so... I think. This is like a challenge area.
That's
These
a
look
weird
crazy.
gnome. Those look like alien.
Yeah, they do. Oh, it is Alien Day.
There's an alien day?
It was the 26th.
Oh, okay.
Because of LD426. Sabretooth is here as well. Good to see you, Saber. And he's asking, can you poop anywhere in this game?
Well, I guess we'll find out, but I think it's unlikely.
Yes, sometimes normal human functions are suspended for the purposes of streamlined gameplay. A birdie bots every flavour bean. Yum! Strawberry! I'm Harry Potter! But of course he's referring to one of the many infamous J.K. Rowling post-release comments about what people get up to in the Wizarding World.
Pooping?
Oh yeah, there was this thing where like before they had toilets at Hogwarts.
Oh yeah.
The wizards just went in their trousers and then they magicked it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's We don't accept anything J.K. Rowling says post-release of the books. That's not canon.
Anything
that's
at
just
all?
her being weird.
Nice. I think this is a very good position to take, actually.
Yeah. Just treat it all as fan fiction of her in books.
Including the new movies.
Oh, absolutely, including the new movies. Those are awful. I mean, there's some good acting in them. There's some funny movements, but the canon in them is terrible.
Ow. So the lightning bolt to my health. Ow. Even though they represent, a permanent impairment to my health in the form of the scar.
Yeah.
Oh, we can go diagonal.
It doesn't impair your health.
Well, it certainly causes him a lot of mental distress
Yeah.
and pain
Yeah.
because of the magical link.
To Voldemort.
He who must not be named.
I just named him
How dare you?
Moldy Voldy. Hope we can get some health pickups.
Gibbon says he's really tired of hearing about the poop thing. Fair enough. It's the one example everyone goes to. Almond flavour. Ah, so that's how you get health. But I had a maximum, so the ones I got before did not restore my health. And maybe the yucky ones don't either. Or maybe it's just flavor text. Potato flavor. So I've noticed some of the music so far has been riffing on themes made for the movie. So they had access to a fair bit of stuff about the production of the movie. But not all of it.
Yeah, and I would guess that the time frame they had it in, like, made it hard to include stuff. Like, music can be altered to a game relatively easily, but, like, if you...
See that theme?
Yeah, it doesn't feel very much like the movie music to me, but it has been a very long time since I watched the movies. I did go and look at them and be like, oh yeah, maybe I should get a box set, and then I was like, haha, I'm not spending $150 on these movies, they're not that good.
This is Hannah Abbott.
Oh.
That's my guess, because that's the only Hufflepuff girl name I remember.
And
I learned some student names through playing the Lego games, which we've done extensively.
Yes.
So here's Hermione. Do you want to read for her?
You're Harry Potter. I know all about you. You're in my modern magical history book. I've learnt all my books off by heart, of course.
Really?
I'm Hermione Granger, by the way.
What a swat. Am I really in that book of yours? I'm Harry Potter.
Goodness, didn't you know? Anyway, we'd better get to potions class in the dungeons. I hear Professor Snape's very strict.
I heard he has fangs.
Have you been listening to George?
That's what that girl told me in that room back there.
Oh, well, he doesn't have fangs.
Uh-oh, it's Peeves again. How did Peeves die?
Peeves is a poltergeist, not a ghost.
Oh. I thought a poltergeist was kind of ghost.
No, Peeves was never alive.
Weird.
He's a sort of magical spirit.
But he has all the same powers and abilities as a ghost. No, that's not true.
No.
He has similar properties to a ghost.
Yeah.
But he can interact with the physical world, which most ghosts cannot do.
Yeah. Regular ghosts have limited ability to interact with the physical world. It's never really made clear, or at least I never really understood what the limitations were there. But Peeves very definitely can touch and pick up stuff because he throws stuff at people.
Well, that's the whole idea of a poltergeist.
Yeah. He's a trickster. What's Hermione wearing? Like really long white socks?
I guess so. And
brown shorts?
yeah, it
Harry's
almost looked
wearing
like...
brown pants. Is it meant to be a skirt and socks?
It almost looked like she wasn't wearing anything, and that was her
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Oh yes, Harry Potter, our new celebrity. Since you're the last one to class, Mr. Potter, go and fetch 6 glass vials from the basement. Hurry up now. Don't keep the class waiting.
That's interesting. Hogwarts doesn't really have any basements.
Wasn't...
It has dungeons.
Yeah.
And that's where
I thought Potions was
is in a dungeon.
In the dungeons, yeah.
Yeah, but there's not really... Well, did Snape lose his face?
Yeah, I guess it was taken by a pixie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we have another chatter here. LP Samuel M, who I've never heard of before. Welcome to the stream. Was this made by the same people who made the Game Boy Color games? Yes, in fact it was. There's a whole, complicated situation there. The Wikipedia article says that there were 5 teams working on 5 different versions of the game for 6 different platforms or something like that. I'm not sure if their maths works out, but there's a whole bunch of different games. They had some of the same material to work from. I noticed before that Peeves looked similar between this version and the PC version, and it's all under the same branding managers at Warner Brothers, of course. Whoa, Nelly. But Griptonite did the first 2 Game Boy Color games, and they did this Game Boy Advance game in a different style. What's interesting is that they got someone else on Eurocom to do the chocolate, to do the second installment on Game Boy Advance, which was a different style of game to this. It was a bit more isometric perspective. But then they brought Griptonite back for the third one. And the third one, instead of being another take on this kind of thing, is an expansion of the formula that they'd set up with their 2 Game Boy Color games. So if you play 1 and 2 Game Boy Color and then 3 Game Boy Advance, you get 3 turn-based RPGs in a row that are very similar in style. It's really interesting.
That's cool.
And I grew up playing the first Game Boy Color game a lot. So that's, yeah, I know that very well. And I played the second one relatively recently thanks to a friend, Andrew, suggesting it for our monthly game club. That was a nice little nostalgia hit there.
So maybe you should play the third one on Game Boy Advance as well.
Oh, should we do that now?
No. We'll do this one first.
I have them all ready to go. All of the Game Boy Advance installments I downloaded while I was at it, just because.
Well, this has got the first 3 in this
yeah,
game.
this collection has the 3, but they kept putting them out on Game Boy Advance quite late. I was surprised. 4 and 5 are on Game Boy Advance as well. Each of them done by new developers.
So were there DS games?
Yeah, they went to DS after the third one, I think. So they were putting them out on every platform that they could that was sort of current at the time.
Yeah. That's your classic tie-in game. Just shove it onto every single platform you can.
But the first installment is probably the most interesting because there's a lot of difference between the different versions since they're all made by different people. From what I've read, after the third one, EA kind of took it in-house for the console installments, and it became 1, much closer to the movies, 2, much more similar between the different platforms. So it sort of gets a bit less interesting there, I think. Because there's sort of game universe to the first 3 where everything has this different visual style. It's not quite like the covers of the books. It's not quite like the movies. We noticed, the character designs being cartoony and stuff, and the appearance of Peeves and things like that. That sort of thing, you will notice it in the first 3 games. Good luck.
Snape will never go easy on you.
Why is that? Spoilers. Oh, wow. So this Samuel M. person says, hello, they've been following my YouTube uploads for a year now, but I've never managed to catch a stream live until now. You stream exactly the obscure stuff I'm into. That's music to my ears. Thank you very much for being here. And thanks for watching my videos. It's really cool, and I don't get a lot of feedback on those, so sometimes it feels like I'm just putting stuff out into the void. But that's good to know. Such a shame they had to go for this naff pre-rendered style here. Yeah, I'll say that the Game Boy Color versions look a lot better with their sprite work. This is sort of a middle ground between some of the pre-rendered stuff. Like I tried out the 4th GBA game, and that's much more pre-rendered sort of muddy clay model characters, which is, it doesn't look great.
Yeah, it's sad because I feel like here on the GBA, where they have so many more pixels, they had the opportunity to make some really amazing sprite work. And I would love to play a super cute, spritey, puzzly Harry Potter game.
That's what you wanted this to be. You were reading about it and you were like, oh, the first one says it's a puzzle game.
Well, it is more of a puzzle game, at least so far. I'd probably die a lot trying to fight these goblins if I was playing, though.
Okay, here's a trivia question for you. What would I get? What would I get if I added powdered Wigan tree bark to an infusion of moly and dittany, and then stirred in 1 pint of flubberworm mucus?
That's not a potion in the book.
So you don't know.
This scene should have, what will I get if I add a powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood, and it's called the Draught of Living Death.
Oh, scary. Well, Harry doesn't know, because he didn't read his textbooks beforehand.
Well, he might have read them, but he didn't memorize them. You need to ask Hermione.
Fame clearly isn't everything. The answer, of course, is the Wiggenweld potion, a powerful antidote, which is precisely what we are going to be learning this term.
That sounds like a bit advanced for a first
For
class.
our next lesson, I want you all to collect the following 4 ingredients.
Dittany isn't an ingredient, it's a potion.
Well, you can put a potion in another potion, and then it's a potion ingredient, like making a white sauce.
Well, I guess Dittany isn't a potion ingredient. It's called Essence of Dittany.
There you go.
It's pretty magical on its own.
So we need all those bits and bobs. Failure will be severely punished. Some homework. Go explore the forest and find obscure things.
Oh, you're supposed to do it in the forest. What? Snape's face is just gone. Snape used to have a face.
He sometimes has eyes when he turns his head.
Yeah, but
this is the
it's
power
so
of pre-rendered
freaky.
sprites.
Oh,
I was going to say it's a
bad.
bit like a Castlevania thing where none of the characters have faces, but it works because the sprites are so small and so intricately done.
Yeah.
But it's not quite that.
Like Harry looks okay because he's got glasses, and they've
Giant
clearly
glasses.
worked on the glasses. But
Perfect
Snape.
squares. Look at those little squares of white.
This makes me want to do some Harry Potter pixel art and make good sprites. But I'm not very good at sprites.
Oh, Ravenclaw at last.
Hey.
Who is this? Hang on. They don't all do classes together.
No.
They do them in 2x2 houses, right?
Or sometimes one house at a time. Depends
Okay.
on the class. So charms, I think Gryffindor do on their own.
Okay.
But potions they have at the Slytherins.
What? This one's clearly wearing shorts or something.
Yeah.
Exposed legs doesn't seem like a thing you would see at Hogwarts. Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
That's the same girl. Are they twins?
Are there 2 pairs of identical twins in Gryffindor? Are Padma and Pavati Patil identical?
They're not identical and they're not both in Gryffindor.
Oh, right. One's in Ravenclaw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another faceless person.
I guess they're wearing short dresses.
No, I think they're meant to be wearing the skirts. It's just that in the movies
yeah,
they
the
wear
skirts.
like grey tights under the skirts.
Yeah, okay.
And they're a bit longer. Those are like Japanese schoolgirl skirts. Like, well, actually, no.
Ooh.
So girls used to do that at school, right? Ooh, that's just a bouncing pumpkin. That's not a pasty. A pasty is like a sort of triangle thing.
Yeah, it's a pastry.
Yeah. Delicious.
Ooh. Maps. Goodness me, look at all this. This is really useful.
Yeah.
So
That
we
would have
need
been
to go
useful
to
in the
grounds.
Lego games.
Oh, the Lego games. It's so hard to navigate Hogwarts. That's the main criticism, I think. Yeah. But we played lots of the Lego games, and
Yes. And I haven't played them again. I haven't got them on Switch because we definitely needed them a third time. Because we had them on Wii originally, didn't we?
that's right. But they were really dark on Wii
Yeah.
in the standard def
It's
resolution.
really hard to see what was going on.
The motion controls are a little bit annoying, and the second installment didn't run well
No.
because at that point they were focusing on the HD development, and
Yeah.
the ports for the less powerful systems were not great.
Yeah. Definitely.
So then, did we ever get them on another system, or we just got the re-release on PS4?
We got the HD version on PS4. That was the next one.
Yeah, the collection, the remakes. The remake, which is actually not done by Traveller's Tales.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a remake. It's more like
No,
a remaster.
it's a port or something. I don't know. Yeah,
They like up-res the
Terminology.
textures. You
Yeah.
don't really need to up-res the models. Pretty blocky.
So Ron's not even coming with us.
Oh.
He's going to find Fred and George to get a lead on the other ingredients. So I'm doing it alone.
Oh.
So some of the later games in the series, not on Game Boy Advance, but other ones, had simultaneous co-op play. But actually, even on GBA, some of the later ones had different playable characters, so you could pick Ron or Hermione.
Yeah. That's cool.
I think in this one, we're probably going to be stuck to Harry for the whole time.
I
But
think so.
the RPGs, of course,
You're
let
playing
you
as the
have
trio?
a party. Yeah. Well, at different times, they would swap in and out depending on plot.
So more like the Lego
bag.
games there.
Yep. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
your log hit the other log.
pushing puzzles. This gives me really good Golden Sun memories. Oh, the log pushing puzzles in that game were amazing. All right, so what's going on here? If I shoot that, it shoots spikes. So that's clearly not the answer. And I don't have any other spells. I don't know what's going on here, and I can't jump either.
Do you need to get that bit to reset, maybe? Should you have not pushed it that far and gone down and around it? You probably couldn't have got past it, right?
Don't know what that big hand means either. Oh, that must be my active spell, Flipendo. Because that's what the symbol on the switches was. Alright, I will leave and come back. Maybe I messed up the log. So where is Hagrid's hut again? Reminder from Professor Sprout, avoid poisonous mushrooms. Got it. How much forest do I need to traverse before I reach Hagrid's hut?
I don't know, why don't you check the map?
The map! Nope, wrong button. Oh. Oh! What? I found a secret menu with cheats. Cheat on. What does that mean? And what is this? Is this a debug thing?
Yeah, you can load into particular levels.
I press start and then I press select. That's all I did. And
That's
here we can save.
Pretty easy.
We can save at any time. We can check all the music and sounds in the game. We can change what chapter we're on and what area. Goodness me, this is incredible.
And watch the credits. Oh look, we finished the game.
Griptonite games.
Can we skip the credits?
Hold on. I feel like these names are different to what I saw in Moby Games. Oh, I don't know. Well, there you go. If you are playing this game and you want to skip around, oh, we've broken the UI.
Oh yeah.
The lightning bolts have turned into vertical lines.
Oh. Oh well.
All right, so if I hit this,
Can you
it
then
rolls
go?
that far.
Aha.
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 But you wanted to check the map, right?
Oh yeah, the map. Okay. That's actually not very helpful.
No.
I guess I'm in a challenge zone. Oh. I thought I could push the log onto the pond and then jump across. I'm
Apparently
thinking golden
not.
sun rules here. It doesn't work like that. Oh, you like that butt crack? See that?
The spell is so slow.
Mm-hmm.
Oy. I'm not going to be doing much defense against the dark arts with a spell that slow.
There was a jelly bean in the bush, and it was bogey flavor.
Maybe don't eat jelly beans that you find
Whoa.
in bushes. Oh, it was a trap door.
Subsidence.
Subsidence?
Oh yeah, right. I usually read that and not speak it.
I know it from watching too many home renovation shows.
Grand Designs.
Yeah, that one's more Homes Under the Hammer.
Yes, you're right.
It's like my pronunciation of auction.
Auction?
Auction!
And a real Aussie should say auction mate. Huh. Is that Hagrid's hut? That looks like Hagrid's hut.
How to get to hut. Ah, don't run into the bush.
I tried to damage boost through it like a speedrunner.
Oh.
Did not work. Maybe there's a shortcut if I fall down the hole. I don't get it. Ron definitely told me to go
that's
this way,
Hagrid's
right?
hut, yeah.
But I can't get in, and I don't know any other spells. Whoa. Sorry, I don't know if you've heard this, but there's a voice clip.
Ooh, fancy.
He's not doing it again.
No. Is it the actor?
It's not Daniel Radcliffe. I'm
Okay.
sure of it. They didn't even get him back for Lego Dimensions, you know.
They didn't get anyone back for Lego Dimensions. The Hermione in Lego Dimensions is really annoying.
So I have some information on that. I looked up the website behindthevoiceactors.com, which is a very good resource if you're trying to find out who voiced somebody in something. And in Lego Dimensions, there's a lot of typical voice actor names that you might recognize. But among the NPCs that exist in the Harry Potter adventure world, you have like Neville and Luna, and Hagrid too, Robbie Coltrane. All the actors for those characters returned to voice their characters for their lines there. However, what the heck? Yeah, the playable characters, I guess their actors are too famous or something.
Lame.
So, for Voldemort, like it's all archive audio from the films. They just clip out dialogue that he had and put it in the game. I don't know if they did the same for Harry, but he's not listed.
Wait, did you just walk past
I
that
did.
bush that you're not supposed to be able to walk past?
But it didn't help me, Annie. There's nothing here.
Ugh.
Yeah, we never play
Is
as
it down
Harry.
the bottom?
So there's a team pack where you buy a pack with Voldemort and Harry, and you get them to play as. And we always play as Voldemort quite frequently, but never Harry.
Yeah. Harry's kind of lame. Can you sneak past that one? Why are you trying to...
Oh! That's new. Okay. This is a breakthrough. So what are these bushes for? Oh, that's right. You search them. And we get health. Yeah, so I couldn't tell you from personal experience what Harry's voice clips sound like. But he wasn't listed on Behind the Voice Actors at all. Because they're just using archive audio and they haven't credited the original actor for that. So, yeah, same's true for Voldemort, but for Hermione, she was also available in a fun pack by herself with Buckbeak as a vehicle. And she has all new voice clips, a lot of sort of stereotypical Hermione stuff.
Oh,
but
it's awful. It's so bad. It's like, oh.
Yeah, the writing's not good, and the actor, she's doing her best. The actress who voices her is named Erica Lindbeck, and she has popped up in a lot of stuff. If you look through her credits, I'm sure you'll find something you recognize. I recognized, of course, Blaze the Cat and Omo Chow. She's the new voice for them as of 2019 and sort of the new Olympics Games and Team Sonic Racing. So there's been two previous voice actors for Blaze, but she's the new Blaze. She also was Miriam in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. She was Chile in the fourth Broly movie's dub. Roll in Mega Man 11. There's some crossover with my stream there. She played Barbie in a bunch of direct-to-video movies. So, you know.
Oh, I think I've seen one of those.
So she does American and British accents, apparently. But according to us, her British accent is not that convincing.
No,
or at least her Hermione voice.
The voice is just like... The voice is pretty grating, but because the clips repeat so frequently,
that's the worst part, yeah.
And they're like the worst parts of Hermione's like stereotypical personality.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like this characterization.
Let's get into that more, but first, here's Harry. Good to see you. I must apologize for the slight gnome infestation. I've been a mite distracted lately. I think that's the wrong mite. It should be M-I-T-E. What with the breaking at Gringotts and doing I'm doing the completely wrong voice for this guy.
That's
anyway,
fine.
Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. He's doing special things for Dumbledore that he doesn't want to talk about. He's supposed to keep it very secret. Hush, hush. So we're looking
Dumbledore's
for
other
Dittany.
dungeon.
Excuse me? Yeah, so he's going to show me how to get Dittany. Nice little place he's got here.
The background's, it's like not too bad, but like what's with the like out the door and the window is really weird.
It's really heavily dithered.
Yeah, but then the rest of it is kind of okay. It's a style.
It's very
I
like
guess.
low res pre-rendered stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's not like It's not like a 3D model pre-render, right?
No, it's
like
a larger picture that's been scaled down.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was made for another platform or something.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Whereas this feels like it was made at this resolution.
Yeah, but then when two parts of the game don't match, it's not a very good look, is it?
No, it's not.
Ding. There's your puzzle. Whoops!
Oh!
It's a bit early.
You cannot jump, Harry.
No, Harry can't jump. White man can't jump, we know this. Why does the game look dark on the screen?
Yeah, it does look darker on the iPad. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, it's alright.
I think it looks nicer there.
No, you can just watch that. It's like 18 seconds behind or something.
That won't be confusing at all.
Hey,
Get the goblin.
My lightning bolts got fixed.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a goblin. Goblins are intelligent creatures. This is a gnome, a wild beast.
Oh, so these are supposed to be like those gnomes that they...
Oh, what?
That are like garden gnomes.
Yeah. I remember flinging them around in the Lego game.
Yeah.
But they don't wear pointy hats.
No.
You definitely fight them in the Game Boy Color games as well. Here's a real puzzle. How do we get past here? What if we push it onto that switch? Oh, then it's out of the way, of course. Okay.
And then you can fill one of the holes.
Wow, this is actually getting complicated.
Yeah.
I like it. If this looked like Golden Sun, I would be very happy. Because that had like different spells you use in the overworld to traverse, but it also had random battles and stuff.
I like that you could lure the goblin into the hole.
Yeah.
It's handy.
Oops. Oh, I thought I was out of the way. Gotta mind your hitboxes. So what's this log? It looks different to the other ones.
Oh, can you roll it into that hole?
I can't exactly reach it.
No, maybe it's just a background log. Looks like you could get that switch.
It feels like I have to get all the switches with eggs.
But you can get that one, right?
So this is like a block to put over.
Oh, you can't do it from
I'm gonna have to push it from the other side into that hole.
Okay.
Oh, okay. If I push this down. And then.
Where are you hoping to get that?
I don't know. This is a really big area. Let's just clear some bushes to give us extra space. Nobody's saying anything. So therefore, I will tell you some things. So I was looking up all the different GBA installments and who made them, because this game has a bunch of versions, right? So what does that do? That moves that one, and that only needs to be pushed once. So in video games, there's two kinds of switches: ones that need to be pressed all the time, and ones that you press once. Yeah, so I said Griptonite did the first and third installments of this one. In between them, Eurocom took over for number 2. Now, I know Eurocom for Spyro A Hero's Tale and GoldenEye, the remake on Wii. But Gibbon might know them for Dead Space Extraction. He's a big fan of Dead Space. So they were doing these like Wii games that were a little bit sort of like existing series, but then like a Wii version with some motion controls and stuff. But they also did, other stuff earlier on. But yeah, like unlike all the other companies that I've got listed here who worked on Harry Potter games, they're the only ones who are based in the UK. So Griptonite is a US company, and they were sort of set up as a Seattle division of an existing company, and then later on they got acquired by someone else, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I've talked about them before actually because they developed the Princess and the Frog licensed game for that Disney movie.
Oh, okay.
So I played the DS version of it along with Brave, and for some reason to this day, that is one of my most popular videos. Probably because of Disney fans and like Disney fandom.
Yeah, and I guess not many people have played it.
I don't get why that log is there. Okay, so we have an egg. The puzzles got really complicated really quickly, didn't they?
Yeah.
Started out simple, but now they're going all in. So Griptonite have done some other pretty cool things that I noticed. They did these Harry Potter RPGs, but they also did some Lord of the Rings RPGs.
Oh.
So after EA took the franchise in-house, they did game adaptations of the first and second movies. And they also had Game Boy Advance adaptations. And Griptonite did those and their RPGs. And then they followed it up with their own original thing. EA did, I mean. Lord of the Rings The Third Age, which was like a Final Fantasy X style RPG on consoles at the time, so like Xbox and PS2 and stuff. And Griptonite also did a GBA version of that, which was also an RPG. Okay. Cool. They also did Lego Star Wars 1 on the Game Boy Advance, which is the isometric one. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Cool. So it stops at holes. I was afraid it would roll into a hole.
Yeah, okay. So it stops at holes, and then we also need to...
So I can hit this, and give us room. So we need to move it over here.
Yeah. Okay, this isn't as terrifying as I thought.
Okay, so that's 2 out of 3.
And then we have to get that one from before.
Alright, so it can't go through this gap. But if we move it... no, can't go there.
So you need to move it through the bottom?
Yeah, down this way.
I'm going to call them onions, for lack of a better word.
I think it's a big egg. It could be a fungus.
Oh yeah, it's a bit fungusy.
Gibbon is commenting on Dead Space Extraction. He says it's a good entry in the series. It was so good that it actually got a secondary through line for the rest of the franchise.
Oh.
The DLC campaign in Dead Space 2 was a sequel to Extraction. And then the disaster that was Dead Space 3 happened, and we'll never get a conclusion to the Extraction character's story, let alone the main story.
Tragedy.
He also says that he appreciates the drop shadows. What do you think about this little dithered shadow on
Yeah, it's not great, is it? It's so black and round.
I don't know why it's even necessary.
And it's like when you're on a moving thing, the sprite is misbehaving.
Drop shadows are useful in platformers, but this is not a platformer. And it doesn't actually communicate anything to the player. Whoops.
Ooh, you fell in
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that didn't just reset the whole thing, did it? Oh, good.
I'm so glad I set that up. When I found out this emulator has a rewind function, I immediately made sure that every system that it used would have that as part of its control scheme. Okay, so I guess this is what I was looking for. Dittany, which looks like a bunch of mushrooms. There you go. Alright, so let me see. Oh yeah, the other thing that Griptonite did were they did a lot of Game Boy Advance things, especially like conversions of other series. So they did the Sims games on Game Boy Advance. So they did Sims 2 and Herbs, Sims in the City. And those two are connected very closely. And
I wouldn't say I really enjoy the Sims games. on handheld.
Have you tried them?
I have tried at least one of them. It's not much like The Sims.
No, it's not. It's like a social RPG.
Yeah.
Where you control one person directly and you go around and do quests and things for other people.
Yeah.
And there's like dialogue trees and stuff.
Yep.
When did you play them?
Oh gosh, when did I try and play that? I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago or something on an emulator. I was like, oh, this exists. And I tried it out and I was like, this is awful. This is not why I play The Sims. But then I don't play The Sims to play characters at all, so...
Yeah, you'd like to build houses.
Yep.
And you can't do that in these games.
No.
But if you want to know more about the Sims GBA games, I highly recommend a video on the channel Mini-Me. That's MINIMME. He's a guy who... He's most well known, I think, for his quote-unquote graphically impressive games series of videos where he looks at like 3D games on the GBA or DS and stuff like that. But he does a lot of movie tie-ins as well and discovers whether they're like surprisingly good or as bad as you expect, basically.
Yeah, I feel like there was a generation of like surprisingly good Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance games when the tie-in games on the like home consoles were like a garbage fire.
Absolutely, and there's so many of them that it can be hard to find them.
Yeah,
which is why like curators like this guy. Now that definitely looks like whoever that is in the movie who plays.
Oh yeah, that does.
What's her name? Do you want to bring up IMDb so we can refer to it during this? All right, so Neville's broken his wrist. And she's leaving the students alone without a substitute teacher to watch over them. How foolish.
Or any supervision.
What happened to duty of care? What she should have done is sent one of the more responsible students with Neville to the infirmary.
Yeah.
This is what you learn from, you know... Oh, okay, so here's where our advanced controls come into play. Instead of directly controlling Harry with the buttons, I'm sort of using tank controls now and an accelerator button to aim him. And actually, I think I would have preferred the direct... Cool. Well, that wasn't too bad.
Well, you can change it now if you want.
Yeah, I probably should. Oh, now I'm getting in trouble. But my flying ability has been recognized. What was her accent again? Samuel is asking, wasn't there a GBA Lord of the Rings movie game that was real good, surprisingly enough? Well, could be. I've been meaning to try them, but there's sort of like 6 of them. Because the first game got an adaptation when it wasn't EA. And then 2 and 3, Third Age. What's the other one? I think there's at least one more. And there's a Hobbit one too on GBA. So there's a bunch of GBA Lord of the Rings games. I don't know which of them are good. But surely one of them must be. Uh-oh, Wizard's Jewel. I remember this from the Lego game. Jewel in the trophy room?
Yeah.
Oh, the books? No, I don't remember the books. Or the movies that well, but since the Lego games are directly based on the movies, that's the thing I most remember because I've played through them a few times, including the handheld versions of those. So Madam Hooch is played by Zoe Wanamaker. Thank you. What else was she in? Okay, so I've showed it to Malfoy, and we need to go to the trophy room on the 7th floor.
She's in My Family. That's probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah, that
her
is what
from.
I'm thinking of. Cool. So let me see. I covered Griptonite. Do you want to talk about some of the other versions of this game?
Sure.
I guess the lead platform at the time was the PlayStation version, being like the main console one. So that was done by Argonaut, aka the Star Fox people. They had some 3D platformer experience thanks to Star Fox 2, which was arguably one of the first 3D platformers because you had a mech walker mode and they had these really early like 3D traversal kind of puzzle things and switches inside some of the battle stations and things. It's Percy. There's a ghoul loose. As in, like a zombie that eats dead bodies.
No, it's kind of a slimy, weird spirit thing.
Okay.
It's a kind of creature in the Harry Potter universe. There's one that lives in the Weasley's
in the attic, yeah. You actually see that in the Chamber of Secrets Game Boy Color game.
Oh.
Yeah, you go up and meet the ghoul. Yeah.
Yeah. In the seventh book, they dress it up as Ron and pretend that Ron's got spattergroit. Which is incredibly infectious, so no one would look close enough to tell that it's the ghoul and not Ron.
Secret passageway.
It's not very secret.
Well, it was behind a bookcase.
Oh.
Here's another one of these pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I find it very confusing to switch between the, like, high contrast tile background here.
Well, it's clearly because, like, these ones have to scroll, and anytime they've locked it, but like Hagrid's hut in this one is one fixed screen, and so it's done in that style, which is a bit different. So here's the singing lady. Pig snout.
Fat lady.
That's a bit body shaming, isn't it?
That's what she's called.
Yeah.
I guess you could call
J.K.
her
Rowling
Rubenesque woman.
is definitely not the most woke person in the world, that's for sure. But you're wondering who was responsible for the creation of the werewolf register in 1947?
No.
Trivia time?
This doesn't even come up until book 3.
You're wondering who was the chief of the Wizards' Council in the 14th century?
No.
Merlin?
No, that would be too late for Merlin.
Yeah, you're right. It sure is.
Oh.
We're going to learn a new spell.
And Hermione's going to teach us. Oh, this is what? Hermione looks like a creepy Hermione doll.
This reminds me of the dancing mini games in Donkey Kong Country for Game Boy Advance, the remake, which had a similar sort of close-up of ugly pre-rendered characters and a directional mini game. Oops, wrong one. I messed up.
Doesn't appear to have any consequences if you fail.
You just gotta learn. You gotta do it right the first time. That's all, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna give me some lollies or something. Every flavor beans. In the Game Boy Color games, it was all about getting the chocolate frogs. Oh, I did it again. Oh well, my bad. That's alright. But not for the chocolate frogs themselves, it was for the cards. So you would, all throughout the game, you would find them hidden everywhere, people would give them to you, and you want to fill out your card decks and collect them all. Okay. Good excuse to not take two characters into a scene. Yeah, see, even though this room looks like it should scroll, it doesn't.
It doesn't. And also, he's the wrong size. There's an issue of size.
You think he's too small for these beds or too big?
Yeah.
Well, the room has perspective and he doesn't. He doesn't change size when he moves in the room.
Exactly. So when he's at the front, he looks too small, and then when he's at the back, he looks
it's
too
like
big.
an Alice in Wonderland, like,
yeah,
optical illusion trick room thing. Cool. Gibbon says he wants a chocolate frog, or just any chocolate, really. Oh man, I got a chocolate frog. I've gotten it twice now. When I went to Universal Studios Osaka, they sell chocolate frogs and they're huge. They're like the size of your fist, and they're solid chocolate, and so it's actually really hard to chew through them. But oh, it's so good.
And then you get the massive cards out of them.
And I got 2 cards over the course of like several years. It's like 3 years between when we went back.
And it was the
same one. It's Salazar Slytherin, isn't it? Yeah. It's like a holographic, prismatic.
Do you remember the ones, the chocolate frog cards they had in Australia? Right, when the movies first came out. Oh, they had a series of chocolate frog cards. So they had a chocolate frog that was kind of the size of a Freddo frog.
Were they pentagonal?
No, they were like playing card shape and size. like normal collector's cards, but they were also prismatic.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they were really good, and there were only like 6 or something in the series. It wasn't a huge series. It was like the Bertie Bott's every flavor beans, where every flavor beans, but there was only like 10 flavors.
Okay, so it's taught me about changing spells. And I was caught by this prefect over here, but if I unlock this door, I can get past. Now, what Harry did when I switched to that spell was yell it out very loudly. Therefore,
that's not very sneaky.
should have attracted the attention of the prefect, but didn't. So yeah, now it's a stealth game. So Gibbon says that he wants any chocolate, really. Why can't you have any chocolate? Is there a problem with the acquisition or consumption of chocolate on your end? If so, that's really unfortunate, and I'm sorry. Because chocolate is one of life's joys. In fact, it is a plot point in Harry Potter.
Oh, you mean how they use chocolate to get rid of the effects of Dementors?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe not a plot point, but it's just something that is commonly... Oops! Why are there so many prefects wandering these halls? Did you hear the voice?
Yeah, I did. That is definitely not the actor.
No. That's pretty...
But it sounds
good,
like a little
though.
boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be 11.
Yeah. What is that equivalent to?
I'm lacking the sneaking music.
Is it like year 6 or year 7? Oh, God. Rewind.
It's year 5.
5, really?
Yeah, so he turns 11. I turned 11 at year 5.
Oh, but they also have those, like, British... What? Okay, so apparently Alohomora can only unlock some doors. Video games. Video game logic.
Well, there's nothing behind that door, see? So you can't unlock it.
Well, that is also video game logic.
And Harry's pretty young, though, for his year, so maybe it is year 6.
Yeah, I do get
But
confused.
it's the first year of high school.
Right, so year 7.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, in Australia, our school term starts in January, but in other parts of the world, I know it starts halfway through the year or something. Hogwarts starts in September. Excuse me? You gotta have space for, like, the shot to go out. That's really not how Alohomora is supposed to work, right?
No.
Ooh,
I mean,
swordfish.
that's not how most spells work. They don't need to shoot. They're not...
Gotta shoot.
There's lots of non-shooty spells.
Whoops. Okay, so not that way. That's what blocked us before. So it's obviously this way. What am I looking for again? Trophy room. Oh, I have to go through so many floors.
Where is it? Oh, on the 3rd floor. Oh, so much sneaking.
Well, at least we have the layouts. I don't know. What? Yeah, I wonder if house points is actually a mechanic in this game. It was on Game Boy Color.
It looked like it was, because you could go and look at them.
That's true. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Gibbon says, I have no chocolate and there's a plague on. The grocery stores that are still operating have limited hours and are already closed for the day. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. And I guess it's 2 in the afternoon here, so the grocery stores are definitely still open.
Yeah, they haven't changed the hours of them over here, I thought.
Yeah, they have.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not open as late anymore.
Oh, okay.
So they used to be open to sort of like 10 at night. And they're closing at sort of 6 or 7.
Ooh.
And they're opening later for most people. They now have...
Oh, yeah, the
Ooh.
inventory screen, of course. He said he got a chocolate frog. Here you go. So there is a card collecting thing, but there's nowhere near as many in this version. And on Game Boy Color, you could collect sets of them and then use them for a powerful spell in battle.
Oh.
But then they would be removed from your collection. So I never did it.
Oh, that's...
That's cool. Can we find out more? No, that's all you get. Still, that's cool. A nice little artwork there. Yeah. Bowman Wright. I know they have done the thing where they open early for like elderly people or people at risk. So they
so that's they've reserved the first hour being open.
Reserved hours, yeah. Okay. Well.
So this is what the Australian cards looks like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I might have seen those. Kind of rings a bell. What is that? I guess it's a statue of a gargoyle or something. Yeah, so I told you about Argonaut. Actually, I should tell you, the thing about Argonauts, what I was saying is that their PSX version of Philosopher's Stone was a 3D platformer, much like what they did with Croc. I watched some footage of it to see if it was very much like Croc, but it didn't seem to be that much like it, even though they're both on the PlayStation. But I wouldn't be surprised if they reused the same engine. But another thing that they did was the licensed game for Catwoman the movie with Halle Berry, which is a game I played on stream and enjoyed, and so much that I did a second stream to finish it. But that was the Game Boy Advance version that I played there. They did the console version. So what else? So yeah, there's all these different editions of the Philosopher's Stone game. The PC version was by No Wonder, which I mentioned before was sort of the parent company for Griptonite at the time. So they were sort of handling the license and then sending it out to subsidiary studios, I guess, for the different platforms. But they did the PC version, and it's sort of 3D action adventure kind of thing. Not dissimilar to this, I think, but with 3D space and 3D graphics. So I've hit a switch, but I don't really know what it did. Yeah, some other things that when I looked through No Wonder's list of previous software, they did this like PC activity center thing, which was a very common thing at the time. To have licensed ones, but theirs was based on Dilbert, and it was called Young Dilbert High Tech Hijinks. So that amused me because of the trend of like young versions of characters, your young Sheldons and so on, Muppet Babies. Whenever they do like a baby version, Baby Felix, the cat, yeah, it's kind of silly. They also did some of the later Magic School Bus games, not the ones that I'm familiar with from the 90s, but ones from the noughties. Yeah, good memories of those, but I don't know much about the later ones. I do know there's a dolphin-themed one that I've been meaning to check out. Okay, so that's what that switch did. It moved that thing. Just let us get a bit further. And these are hidey holes. Gosh, there are so many prefects. How many prefects are there actually at Hogwarts?
So prefects get appointed in the 5th year, and then there's 2 from each house. So there's 2 5th years, 2 6th years, 2 7th years. So there's 6 in each house, plus the head boy and girl. Although the head boy and girl are normally appointed out of the prefects without getting replaced. So I think there's just 6 per year.
You said, wait, 2 per house?
So there's 2 per house per year.
Yeah.
And they're in the 5th year,
so
6th
24?
year, 7th year. So there's, 24 in total.
And I'm sure I've seen more than 24 at once. And they can't all be out all night. Surely they do shifts.
No. Yeah. And in the early books, they're not out at all. They're only out in the later books where they're worried about things.
No. I thought that was the Mirror of Erised when I first saw it. I don't get it. There's 2 prefects here and no way through. Aha! You used the unlock spell on the mirror that was blocking a passage or something. Cool. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the other thing that No Wonder did was ports of some of my favorite games, Heroes of Might and Magic. They somehow converted the first 2 installments to the Game Boy Color, which seems like quite Task, I think.
Have you played those?
No. I played 1, 2, and 3 on computer, the original way they were meant to be played. Ow! What?
Oh.
It flexed its wings and hurt me. Oh, okay, so now it's patrolling. It's going to hit the switch, which will get me through that door. Weird. But it flexed and hurt me. It's very rude. What's this about? Yes. So what else was there? Yeah. So there's a bunch of versions at the time. Oops. But there was actually another version that came later, so...
Why did that not count?
I was holding still, hiding in the corner. Stealthy boy. Shouldn't he have his invincibility cloak by this point?
He doesn't have an invincibility cloak.
Invisibility, what did I say?
Invincibility.
Oh no, he gets that for Christmas. First
Yes.
Christmas. And then they just constantly use it to sneak around.
Yep.
So, presumably, any sneaking section after this will be incredibly easy. But right now,
No cloak.
no cloak. Except my normal one. Yeah, so initially there's the PlayStation version, the PC version, which was also ported to Mac by another company, but it's a very straight port. The Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color, and that's all they had. But 2 years later, they went back and made a version of the first game for next-gen consoles. So this is PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Am I at the third floor yet? Tell me. I'm at the third floor. I am! Cool, now we need to find the trophy room. So where do you think it is? Maybe upper right? Okay. So this was Warthog Games, I think? Yeah. And they actually were based in the UK as well. So no wonders the US, but Argonaut and Warthog in the UK. What they did was they had been brought on to do the GameCube, PS2, Xbox versions of Chamber of Secrets, right? And so they did, oh no, that's the Transfiguration classroom. So it's not over there, it must be over to the left. And for some reason, after making Chamber of Secrets, and no, it must have been just before they made Prisoner of Azkaban, but yeah, they went back, they reused a lot of their assets. Oh, is that Filch? Hey, Filchy. Another very famous British actor. Don't remember his name, but he had a good episode of Doctor Who as well. Anyway, I guess it's through here, I don't know. So, yeah, they'd made the Chamber of Secrets game, and then using, like, concepts and assets, David Bradley, of course, who now plays the first Doctor. Yeah, I forgot that. I just remembered him from that stupid dinosaur episode. But yeah, they've got him on now, recurring, doing first Doctor stuff, because he was in that documentary one, and then he was in Twice Upon a Time opposite Peter Capaldi, but now he's doing all these audios with Big Finish as the first Doctor, so that's probably pretty cool.
That's cool.
So we've just found Fluffy, apparently. Yeah, so it was really weird how it's like they'd moved on. They'd made the second game, the second installment, Chamber of Secrets, but then they went back and they re-released the first one, or not re-released even, but made a new game based on the first installment. And it ended up being sort of iterative on the second game because of its release schedule. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Malfoy told Snape. What a jerk. And I couldn't even react to that, so now I can't move. Uh-oh.
This isn't how it happened in the books or the movie.
How did
Wait,
it happen?
how come you can move?
The spell wore off?
Okay, that's not how that works.
How long is it supposed to last?
It just lasts.
Forever?
Yeah.
You're just stuck like that for the rest of your life?
Unless someone frees you. Yeah.
What a horrifying world this is. Whoops.
What, you can do lasting damage to people. Yeah. It's so different from our normal world.
Chocolate frog.
Cool.
We don't have chocolate frogs in our normal world.
Yeah, we do. Just go and get you a pack of Freddos.
Freddos are so good.
No cards, though.
I thought Godric Gryffindor had a beard.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Although depending on where he's from, when he's from, he probably shouldn't have had a beard.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Because they were aping Roman styles
yeah, I mean,
in Britain at the time.
no, not necessarily, just because they weren't fashionable.
Sure.
I always feel like
Alan Rickman's here. Metal Gear Solid. Good job he didn't hear that pot breaking.
He's more convincing as a shadow than he was as a non-shadow.
That's a good point. Huh? What?
Side.
Oh yeah, the hand is directional.
Sneak, sneak, sneak. I like how your light goes through walls. It's reassuringly magical.
It's magic, sure. I wonder if these pots can be interacted with. Nope.
Maybe you can put polyjuice in them later? No, I don't think that's a thing in this game.
It's very common in Lego.
Yes, polyjuice.
Oh, sorry. I have to have this one.
Free the man.
He was trapped. It's funny that I'm kind of tailing him around. Why don't I just go back the way I came at this point?
Definitely good reasons and not dumb gameplay reasons. There's another brick.
Yeah, gotta go around. Puzzles. Whoop.
Snapes.
So blind. So I think he calls out the spell the first time you do it after you've switched.
Okay. It's really annoying how the sprites can't be seen when the light's not on them.
But it's realistic.
But the rest of the world you
Oh,
can.
yeah, that's very unrealistic. Oh, there we go. That was it. Oh, no, I still need to traverse back.
Where do you need to go?
All the way back to the common room, I guess. Couldn't we just skip that part? I've shown that I'm able to do this already.
This is painful.
Tedium. Or I should say gameplay padding. Nope, that's too negative. Gameplay expansion. Yes.
It's like when you add extra milk to your pancake mix to make more pancakes. They're not
Sure.
quite as good.
But I have a fast forward button. Oh, that one's not going to move. Fast forward. Yee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Benny Hill music plays. Da-da-da-da-da. Wait, am I even going the right way? No. Yes.
Yeah.
Why can't I just flipendo all these prefix? And then rush off before they had a chance to know who did it. There we go. I don't think I actually did all the floors on the way back. Whew. Alright. No, it didn't even happen. It was a complete non-event.
Yep. Just like in the books.
We saw the dog, okay. Did that happen in the books, the dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometime later. What did you think I was going to use it for? Oh, rude. Was it worth it? Saw the dog. I don't know. Whatever. That's important for the plot later, I guess. Is it even that important? Samuel says when he yells Flipendo, it sounds like he's yelling Nintendo. Yeah, they should have put that at the title screen or the splash screens when you first launch the game. Ready? A little bit.
Nintendo. Nintendo.
It's like when you start the Mario and Luigi games, you get them shouting on the title screens, which is fun.
This is much easier when they don't make you walk around a bunch of people.
No kidding.
They could have made a title layout here.
Well, it was made by a bunch of crazy wizards.
No, I meant the art.
Sorry, I forgot. I should have done something here. Hold on a second. Pause online backups.
Oh dear.
Okay. Yeah, so we were talking about before how the first 3 games have this sort of different feel to them, and then EA kind of took a stronger grip, or I guess Warner Brothers might have, you know,
No, so
it might have come down from above.
EA, they just sold it to EA, and EA had a different tax. So
Yeah.
just have a different company. They decided to do it a different way, and they wanted it to be more movie based.
EA didn't have the license.
No.
before. Oh, okay, my mistake. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what I'm supposed to be doing now, actually.
Going to the greenhouses.
Greenhouses.
There they are. I think you're in greenhouse 1,
Yes.
being first years.
Oh, it's Professor Sprout, another famous British actor. Margoyles. I think her name is Margoyles. Anyway, yes, we're still getting ingredients for the Wiggenweld potion. We're now up to the second ingredient.
Is she not in the first movie? She doesn't turn up in the list on IMDb.
Oh, okay. Well, there's only so much they could squeeze in.
I guess so.
She's definitely in the second one because of the Mandrake stuff with the basilisk. Yeah, so like doop 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 it doo. Oh, we got more eggs. Great. Where do we need to put those?
Better pick up that weed. Useful.
This one? No, this is an Animal Crossing.
What are you looking for?
Where that egg is supposed to go.
Maybe it's not supposed to go.
Got another puzzle section here. Do you want to have a try?
No. Sleepy.
Yeah.
Looks
Getting
hard.
worn out.
Looks hard.
Okay, I can shoot over the low walls, chest high walls, because this is a cover-based shooter apparently. Oh, if we not, oh no, it won't get into this corridor to get onto this switch. So yeah, I was talking about how there's 5 separate Game Boy Advance games from Harry Potter. The 4th one, which is the sort of muddy pre-rendered one that I mentioned, it was made by Magic Pockets, based in France. And I know them because, you know how I mentioned Catwoman on Game Boy Advance earlier? They're the ones who did that port. So I've completely played one of their games before and I was pretty impressed with it. So maybe their Harry Potter one isn't so bad. Ow, what? So those must be the Doxies that are immune to Flipendo. That Sprout warned me about. And then, well, okay, that didn't quite look convincing, but okay. So how am I supposed to get through them? I'll unlock their shell. Nope. And the fifth one was done by Visual Impact. They had two studios. The main one was in Belgium and one was in France. I'm not sure which one did this one, but Visual Impact are the people who did the Game Boy Advance version of Rayman Raving Rabbids, which is the closest we'll ever get to a proper Rayman 4, according to the concept art that was done for it. So I highly recommend Rayman Raving Rabbids. Oops. And I trust them because of that, so maybe their Harry Potter game is good too. I don't get it. Oh, dying actually sends you back to Hogwarts. That's brutal.
You don't seem to be able to attack those things.
The
Guess you
pixies.
have to avoid them. You haven't learnt.
But they keep following me like wasps in
Yeah.
Animal Crossing again. I found a piece of molly.
And died.
That's rough. That's real rough. Dun, 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 dun.
Maybe that thing in the middle, you can get them to walk into it?
Maybe. Oops, it ate me. Ooh, it ate the pixies too. Okay, so that works. We'll go back to when I had 2 health. But we can probably finish soon, if you want.
Sure.
The only other thing I was going to mention was that in looking at voice actors and stuff, I noticed that for the second game on console, which by the way was done by Eurocom, they did double duty with both the console and the Game Boy Advance version at that time. The narrator for the game was Stephen Fry, who we mentioned before does the audiobooks in the UK. So that was very authentic in that way. Ugh. Wow. I think if I'm high enough, I might. Yeah, there we go. Flipendo.
It's not really clear why Flipendo destroys bushes.
We're uprooting them, maybe? Flipendo essentially works. I'm thinking of The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, also on Game Boy Advance. This is a very Game Boy Advance-centric stream today, but in that you get the cane of Pachi, which has the power to flip things over. And that is used in a few interesting kind of puzzly ways throughout the game. But does it work like that, where anything it hits just turns upside down? Is that it? Come on, you're the expert.
On what? There's no Flipendo spell. It's not a real spell.
But it's a staple in the video games.
Well, it's not actually in the books or movies.
Oh no. It was probably in the Lego game too. There were a bunch of dumb spells you could get that would just affect people.
Yeah.
Remember them? The red one?
Yeah.
So it might have been one of those.
No, those were like make you wear a silly hat type spells.
Gibbons
You just learn
mentioning it,
Reducto in the Lego games, which is an actual spell from the books and movies.
That's the one that breaks silver metal, right?
Yeah.
It's like the explosion one?
Yep.
You don't learn it till 5th year though.
No. I mean,
4th year?
you kind of have a
4th year.
basic version, I guess, of Reducto in the first years, because you still can, like, destroy stuff. Just
Normal
not silver
shot.
stuff. Yeah.
Isn't that Stupefy?
I don't learn Stupefy for a long time either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need to find another switch to flip that bridge over there.
Is it that switch?
Could
No.
be.
That's the onion switch.
No, that opened that door.
Oh,
But I still
yeah.
need to do this somehow.
Can you move the other No.
Yeah, there was another one.
Yeah, that one. Can you push that one down?
Unless there's another place it needs to go. So this can only go... Ugh. What? Okay. And then down?
Then it gets stuck.
Oh, I wonder. No, that won't work. There's this one, but I can't actually.
You could get that from the other side, but then it'll get stuck on the other onion.
So Gibbon is contradicting us here.
Oh.
Flipendo is used in a Harry Potter work. It's used in Cursed Child.
That is
Which-
fan fiction and not real.
Well, you can fight Gibbon. He says, Cursed Child is good, fight me. So there you go. You're going to have a fight now.
I'm not going to have a fight. I haven't actually read Cursed Child. I'm just
I
not
have.
interested.
It's pretty interesting. It's a fun little story, I guess.
How to make onions go. Oh, can we go back and have a look at the other area?
Yes.
This area out here. So if we have an onion here, when we roll that one down...
Perfect. That's very clever. Whoop.
Can you get above it?
I have to go around.
That's annoying.
Oh,
Oh!
there's one in there. Search your cabinets, kids. Ooh.
Slow walk.
I was gonna ask you if you want to fill some time. There's so many like Harry Potter based BuzzFeed quizzes.
Oh, you want to do a Harry Potter BuzzFeed quiz?
We do BuzzFeed quizzes sometimes.
We do.
It's fun.
There are a lot of extremely lame BuzzFeed. Well, like, sort you into your house based on the desserts you choose.
Did we cover yet like which house you think you're in?
Oh,
Because I think I'm a Ravenclaw.
I'm definitely a Hufflepuff.
Chat, I want to hear what house you're in and why. I'm in Ravenclaw because I like the pursuit of obscure knowledge.
You do.
Why are you a Hufflepuff?
Ooh, agree or disagree with these Harry Potter opinions to see which character you are.
Okay.
Why am I a Hufflepuff? I am a Hufflepuff because I am not brave and not particularly smart and very anxious about how other people think about me. Albus Dumbledore was a terrible headmaster who played favourites and endangered children. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Remus would have been a better godfather to Harry than Sirius was.
Agree.
Neville should have been the chosen one.
Agree.
Neville was more of a Hufflepuff than a Gryffindor.
Disagree.
Hermione was more of a Ravenclaw than a Gryffindor.
Agree.
All of the Quidditch scenes are boring filler.
Agree.
The books are better than the movies.
Agree.
Goblet of Fire is the best book in the series.
No, I don't think so.
Order of the Phoenix is the worst book in the series.
Yeah.
10,000 times yes.
Especially because of the first quarter.
Severus Snape was a true hero.
Well, he was totally played by Dumbledore, like, really badly.
Yep.
And I don't agree with his methods, but his motives were pure. What was it? True hero? Is he a true hero? Oh, I missed a flower in that switch room.
Oh.
Dough. Which means I have to tank past these things again. Oh.
You have to go back the other way.
Yeah, there must be another way.
You pushed a block.
Is Snape a true hero? I don't think I can get there. I think by moving this switch, I now am trapped. So I think I've soft locked it. Was Snape a true hero? Yes, he was.
I loathe Umbridge more than Voldemort.
Yes.
Harry got by mostly on luck and Hermione's help.
Yes.
Harry and Hermione should have been together instead of Hermione and Ron.
I don't think so.
Hufflepuff is the best house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because as they show in this picture, Newt Scamander was in Hufflepuff, and he is a great character.
Hagrid was a better guardian to Harry than anyone else.
Well, again, he didn't do anything for him for 11 years, so... But while he was at school, yes.
I mean, he offered more like adult advice than anyone else did.
Yeah. After Sirius came back, he did sort of as well, but then he died, so... Yeah.
Hermione is the
Very careless of him, I think.
Hermione is the real hero of the story.
Absolutely, she is.
Dobby's death was the saddest of the whole series.
It was very senseless. It was the one they lingered on most in the movies, I remember that. So I'm gonna say yes.
Lily should have married Snape.
I don't... Nah, that's her choice.
Your options are agree or disagree.
From the way it's presented in Snape's flashbacks from his perspective, it certainly seems like James is a huge jerk.
But it also seems like Snape is a huge jerk. She should have just stuffed both of them and gone with Remus or someone else who was nice.
Or not marry anyone, it's her choice.
Yeah.
But in this binary options, agree, I suppose.
McGonagall should have been headmaster instead of Dumbledore.
Well, she was. In
After
Cursed
Dumbledore.
Child. Yes, she should have.
Harry shouldn't have destroyed the Elder Wand in the movie. He should have placed it back in Dumbledore's tomb like in the book.
Oh. No, I like him breaking it at the end of the movie in the denouement section. I like that.
Disagree.
Yeah, disagree. He should have destroyed it.
You got Hermione Granger.
Oh, there you go.
People always say that you're so smart or so naturally talented, but what they don't realise is that you had to work hard to be able to do the things you do. Sure, you might have some natural talent or brains, but really you just study, and practice.
Gibbon was playing along with us. He agreed with some of the same ones I did. But he also says the final book is the worst. The Deathly Hallows was such an arsepull. Deus Ex Machina. And agreeing that Umbridge is not good at all.
Oh yeah, Umbridge is awful. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go through this and see who I get, but I won't read it out.
So I don't think I can really progress. So we're going to stop soon.
You going to play that other game? Isn't there something else you're going to try?
That's true. Actually, I never mentioned there were the 5 movie games, but they did actually make another 6th game, which was released on the Game Boy Advance, and that how do I get that window back? Option. I had to hold option. So there was sort of a release gap when they were going through and making games based on the movies. At a certain point, it was a sort of yearly cycle, but the 3rd movie didn't come out the next year or something, or it was delayed. So they were like, we have a gap in the schedule. We need to rush out another game to feed to the Harry Potter fans. Mm-hmm. So EA made this game called Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup, and it was out on the consoles of the time, and also here on the Game Boy Advance, made by it was one of the people who did the other ones. Yeah, so Magic Pockets, the people who did Catwoman GBA, did Year 4, and also this conversion Quidditch World Cup to Game Boy Advance. So I assume that maybe they had a Quidditch minigame in their Year 4 game, and they just took it out and made a whole game out of it. That's what I assume happened, but I don't really know for sure. But yeah, it's a whole game based on Quidditch. Oops, I maybe should have listened to what the controls were.
I also got Hermione Granger.
Oh, okay, we're just throwing balls at the moment. We're throwing quaffles into rings. So we're both Hermione. 2 Hermiones, that's cool. Time travel duplicates. That's what we are. So you did all the right answers too. Good job. You don't like this Harry Potter?
I do not like this creepy robot Harry Potter.
Look, we can collect chocolate frog cards in this game too.
Ah.
Oh, they're Quidditch cards. The Gryffindor Chasers.
The art is awful. I cannot.
Oh, come on. It's got a certain charm to
What? Terrible pre-rendered sprites. Oh, this is bad.
it. Yeah. So this was a little bonus game. I didn't think I'll play much more of this. Oh, sorry. I actually missed some comments here. Samuel was saying that they're a Ravenclaw. They're an elitist intellectual. Okay, I like to think I'm not elitist. That's their vibe, though. Yeah, that's how it's presented at times, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, except for, I think Luna is the good case against that. Because she's not an elitist at all.
Yeah.
And she's not really an intellectual. Like, she's a bit of a weirdo. Like, she is... I guess she's a philosopher. So...
He just mentioned that I'm going to be trying to tackle a ghost of an ex-Quidditch player. That's pretty odd.
Yeah. It's very strange.
It's a good use of ghosts, though, to train in Quidditch.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of sprite scaling in this version, depending on where you are on the screen. Tackle. Whoops. I keep throwing the ball by accident. So yeah, there's a whole game based on Quidditch, if you're into that. But I don't think we'll continue much more now. I think we should stop here. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today's Harry Potter stream. I was very glad to have the expert here. You are the person that I know who knows the most about Harry Potter. So it was very good to get your expertise on that. So thanks for joining me.
That's okay.
Hope you had some fun.
Yeah.
That was
There
Edgar
was some-
Clogs. There you go.
Some very ugly games.
Rude. She's very rude about retro games.
No, not really. I mean, there's some really nice Game Boy art, Game Boy Color art. I think some of the stuff on, like, Pokemon Heart Gold or
Yeah.
Pokemon Gold is really...
There's a lot of ugly stuff in the Game Boy
Really
Advance
nice.
era, but there's a lot of good stuff too. It's just that there was a
Oh,
boom
the
of like
ground
cheaply
on
made
this. Wait.
graphics in a certain style because that's sort of what was popular or what they were able to do, and
Yeah.
they thought it was impressive at the time or something. I don't know.
It's
Anyway,
interesting
This is how
how it's
secret
like
mode works on this. Got to stay in the trail.
the really nice pixel art is like what we now look back and like, oh, nostalgic. But at the time we would have been like, wow, this is amazing 3D, and you're like, oh, this is painful.
Yeah, I guess that was it because it looked a bit more 3D, and 3D was the hot thing on the main console. So you wanted to sort of approximate that, but they weren't very good at it. I will say, if you check out the third GBA game, which, as I said, was a continuation of the Game Boy Color RPGs, that actually has really nice pixel art in the same style as those color ones, but just upgraded. Instead of going for this other kind of graphical style that a lot of other Game Boy Advance ones and these other ones that we've played today do. So, yeah, that's my recommendation. Check out the first 3 Griptonite RPGs. Anyway, I think we better stop.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. Thank you, watchers and chatters. And see you next time for video games. Yay.
You're telling me you don't stream cooking?
No, I'm not very good at cooking. I could do Cooking Mama. Anyway, bye.
Bye.